You're listening to the Indie Echo Podcast, a showcase of independent music and the artists that make it. I'm Jordan, producer at High Five Music. Elena Sidiro is a singer-songwriter from Montreal. Over the last year, her covers and originals have taken off on TikTok. This led to the release of her first proper singles. The latest is this one, Sunset Avenue.
On Sunset Avenue, don't want nobody other than you. On Sunset Avenue, the sunset in the rear view. On Sunset Avenue.
So I'm Elena. I'm from Montreal, Canada. I'm 18. Who did I listen to growing up? I listened to Taylor Swift, as one does when she's my biggest inspiration. I also listen to, the Beatles, Queen. My parents, they would put that on all the time. So that has a big influence on me, I guess. I listen to their records all the time. I have them over there. I really love Harry Styles' music now, I really like pop music. I kind of grew up listening when I started gaining more independence, and started listening to more pop, and that's kind of it, the hits and everything. Yeah.
Did you take lessons or anything when you're younger?
No, I started vocal lesson. I've always sang, and I've always had that, and I've always done shows and everything, but the first time I did a vocal lesson was when I was 15, and I only did a piano lesson during my time at the music school I went to. So yeah, for a few months. So I'm kind of self-taught in everything that I do. Yeah.
So writing music is more of a more recent pursuit.
No, actually, I've been writing. I think my parents claim that I used to come up with little melodies when I was a kid, but the first time I ever wrote lyrics and I was yes, this melody is, a song, I was 11 and I wrote about a boy I had a crush on.
Of course.
And then I started seriously writing when I was 13, I think. And I got my first guitar, and I was I was teaching myself, and started writing lyrics based on books that I would read, and yeah, that's basically how that started.
What was the first proper song you wrote? Verse, chorus, that kind of thing.
First proper song. I think it was this song, I wrote it when I was 13 or something, and it was called "The Island of Misfit Toys," based on what.
Rudolph?
Was that in? Yes, I think so.
I know it well.
Yeah, and I wrote it because I felt I didn't fit in at school, and I was my friends and I I'm never gonna put this song out, but it's it was just about how I felt I didn't fit in, and I won an award for it at school. Actually, I showed it to my class, and I won an award, so that was pretty cool. But
nice.
Yeah.
Do you still have it on a shelf somewhere?
Well, yes, I think I do. I'm not sure, but it could be somewhere in here.
You can put it next to your Grammy someday. So
yeah. That'd be pretty cool. Really like that. Imagine just my 7th grade award next to a Grammy.
Perfect. So what made you want to shift to actually, writing music and, getting it out there?
Well, okay. Basically on TikTok, I started in September. I started doing this challenge, and it was singing my favorite songs every day until more people listen. And that's kind of what started it all. And I couldn't figure out how I was going to make my way into the music industry, because it was always my dream. I didn't want to do anything else. So I started doing that. I was okay, this could get attention. First day I had high hopes. I was yes, this is gonna make it. I got 20 likes. Second day, 20 likes. Third day, got 90 likes. That was the most I'd ever gotten at the time. Then, and the guy who wrote the song even commented on that one. So that was really, really cool. And then the one that got a lot of attention was a cover of an unreleased song by Niall Horan. I don't know, you know Niall Horan? Yeah, okay. Called Champagne Lovers or something. And yeah, Champagne Lovers. And it got like 100,000 likes. That was the first time I ever got attention. And I started gaining a following. And I was like, I want to start putting out my music. So my dad was like, okay, so let's do it. Like, start writing more, we'll find a producer, or you start producing. I try my best, but I'm not at that level. So I have a producer, but, and then I stopped doing the challenge and then I started putting out my own music. That's basically how it happened.
Yeah, the TikTok algorithm can be, you never know what you're going to get sometimes.
Exactly. I remember when it went viral, I was like, this one?
Mm-hmm.
This took me like 5 minutes to film. It was a 15-second cover, but it's a beautiful song, so I'm not like surprised, but it's also an unreleased song. Mm-hmm. So it was very confusing, but yeah. So
Stuck on You, that is like, it's very reminiscent of old school Taylor Swift. So is that the point that you're trying to get through?
I honestly wrote it. I think I wrote that when I was 15. I was in the car and I was like, I'm talking to my dad and I was like, oh my God, wait, I have an idea. So I pull out my voice memos and I start recording and I couldn't finish it. Like, I could not find anything to finish it with. So it took me a while to actually come up with something. It kind of did end up sounding like old school Taylor, probably because I was listening to her old albums at the time, all the time. So yeah, that was kind of like the inspiration, I guess. But I mean, now it's different. I mean, I was 15, I'm 18 now. So that sounds like that, but I feel like I've changed a lot since I wrote that song. Yeah, so like I said, I wrote the chorus before I wrote the rest of the song and I kind of forgot about it. So one day I sat down, I have the perfect idea. And then I sat down and I was like, it's 4 a.m. on a Saturday. And I wrote all the lyrics and then I put a melody to it and then it was born.
It was supposed to be you and me, but you broke my heart and you left me hanging. Can't move on to someone new, 'cause I'm still stuck on you.
I didn't want it to be like super sad because I kind of wrote it was more like a beat. So it was like, it has like a beat to it, right? Like it's on a ballad. But it ended up sounding really good in my opinion. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure other people like it. So it's, I don't know, I personally like it and I like how it turned out in the end.
Yeah.
So.
And then the ballad came in the form of I Should Have Known. And that was your next one?
Yes.
And I assume that started on piano? Because that's how it sounds.
Surprisingly, no. I wrote that song and it was so rough and it was like, I was like screaming it when I wrote it, like screaming, you know. I wouldn't say screaming, but I wrote it on guitar while my friend was over and I wrote the bridge first, like, congrats, by the way, you proved me right, you know, because I was mad. I wrote that and and I wrote it on guitar and it was actually like, I think in a higher key, I'm not sure though. And and then I wanted to get it produced and I was like, okay, I think this would sound really good as a ballad. And then I asked my dad what he thought and he said, yeah, actually, I think that would sound really good. So then we got it produced and it was, I Should Have Known was born. So yeah.
Now I'm sitting at a crossroads, don't know which way to go. Should I go home? Can I go home? You broke my heart in pieces, but I don't know which to follow. All that I know is that I should have known.
It was, I didn't want it to be just, you know, only piano. Since the song was so rough originally, like I was gonna have it be like, you know, with drums and like so many like instruments, but then I was like, I want it to still have that a little bit, but not too much. And then, yeah, that's basically what happened.
And so then that brings us to your latest single, Sunset Avenue, which is your, I guess, poppiest one yet? Or it's more like pop dance kind of thing? And so was that, I like the way you kind of, make each one different than the last. So is that something you did intentionally?
Well, yeah, like first with Stuck on You, I wanted it to sound like that because it was kind of a representation of who I was at the time, I guess. That's like the sound that I really liked when I wrote it. And then I Should Have Known, also same thing. And then I wrote Sunset Avenue like a few months ago, and I remember I was with my dad when I came up with the idea. We were driving and I saw the sunset and I was like, Sunset Avenue. That's a cool song title. So I go home and I go on the piano. I'm like, I'm playing it and like, this is really good. Like, well, not to, be cocky about it, but it was, I really liked it. So I really liked the idea. And I thought this could be such a fun dance song. Like take that like sad kind of story where you're still waiting for the guy who left you and turn it into like this fun thing. It's like, I don't know. I really like it. I like how it turned out, how you can dance to it. And,
you'd be surprised how many of those, like fun dance songs, if you actually listen to the lyrics, they're actually, more sad than you would think.
Yeah, of course. It's, yeah.
But those are some of my favorite songs. Like a lot of the electronic music I listen to, it's more or less just ballads in a dance form. So I appreciate the really good songwriting that goes into, jumping up and down with your friends at the festival at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. My mom, when I played it for my mom, she's like, oh, so this is a ballad. I was like, absolutely not. This is going to be like, it's like an angry thing at the same time. Like, you're like, you left me in the rear view. Like, how could you do that? And then, but you're like jumping around with your friends because like, screw that guy who left you in the rear view. Yeah.
And so what's next on the horizon? More singles, an EP? What you got?
I want to put out an EP. I think that would be really cool. I'm trying to bring more attention on my TikTok to my original music instead of my covers, which I think is gonna go well. I think I've spoken to a bunch of my fans, I guess I could call them that. They've said I love your songs. I love them so much. I make more, and I want to, but I also want to bring more attention to it at the same time. So I'm very happy with the outcome so far because I am a small artist, but I want to play shows all over the world as one does.
So have you played live at all?
I've sang live, but I've never played my own songs live.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's always an interesting idea to me, where it's like your personal songs, playing them in front of people. And maybe some of the people you're talking about in the songs are in the audience,
Oh my God, yeah. I remember somebody texted me and they're like, oh, who'd you write this about? I was like, no one. It was from my head. I came up with it. It was just an imaginary scenario.
Was it about this guy? No, not him. Not at all.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Well, you do TikTok lives, so that's kind of
that's like my alternative to an actual show. Because I would go out, let's say, to like a cafe and perform, but it's like my city just came out of lockdown, so it's hard to find a place that's actually doing that.
It's gonna be interesting when like the whole world is open up again and all the tours that were canceled are all trying to rebook at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be crazy.
Like I have tickets to Harry Styles. I think it's called Love on Tour. I was so excited to go, and then it got canceled, and then he rescheduled it. I'm like, okay, how is this gonna work? Because also there's so many other concerts that are happening, and I don't know.
You mentioned the song, the unreleased song that blew up. Was there another TikTok of yours that kind of unexpectedly blew up out of nowhere?
Okay, the most recent one that blew up was a challenge of like, it was one breath, like you take in like one breath and then you sing. It was Levitating by Dua Lipa, and it got like 10,000 likes in like a few hours. I was like, huh? I posted that for fun. I did not expect this.
It's another one of those, yeah.
Yeah, but it was really cool though. I mean, it's a great song, so it's like, okay, thanks.
You have a bunch of classic artists. Like
yeah, we do.
modern
It's
classic.
really cool. Yeah, we have, The Weeknd, Drake, Justin Bieber, Avril Lavigne's from Canada.
And my, I guess, closest connection would be Deadmau5. He's in Toronto. DJ, producer.
I'm not sure. I'm so bad with names too. Like I know like the big artists and the ones I listen to, like, I listen to some, at least a few underground artists. Yeah, I'm just so bad with names sometimes. Sometimes people are like, oh yeah, do you know the song? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, do you know who it's by? No.
He's the one who introduced me to what Tim Hortons was. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Tim Hortons is the best thing ever.
That's what I hear.
You have to.
I've been there one time. It's the one in New York. So I don't know if it's authentic Tim Hortons, but.
I did not even know there was one in New York. So when I go, I'll definitely visit. I'll see if it's authentic. As a true Canadian,
yes,
I will.
I'll be there.
I will make sure.
Do a TikTok for it.
Are you sure this is Canadian? Like, are you sure? Like, this is not how we do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there a most difficult part of putting your first singles together?
The most difficult part I'd have to say is like finding my sound, I guess. Because I am 18, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. But I'm figuring it out, and I'm starting to like give in more of my input in what I think, what I want, not what I think I want. I know what I want now. But yeah, that was kind of the most difficult part. And putting them out there, it's like, you're doing it by yourself, and it's a little bit stressful, but you just have to have faith and do what makes you happy, right? So, as corny as that sounds.
Are there any like local artists like to the Montreal scene or something that you look up to?
I'm not sure if they're from Montreal, but there's this one band. Wait, hold on, let me check. I'll check to see where they're from. I think they're called Group Project, which is a really cool name for a band. Like, that's such a cool name. I'm pretty sure they're from Montreal because one of my friends from school, we were sitting next to each other in class. He goes, listen to this song. And I thought he was going to play me a rap song. So I was like, oh my God, like I love rap, but like, it's just like, I thought it was going to be, like I'm not really that into it. It's good, but it's not my type of thing. So I was like, okay, fine. And so he puts it on. It's this like beautiful, like ballad type of song. It's called Priest. And I was like, this is so good. This is amazing. And I started listening to it all the time. I think I might be like half of their streams. I'm not going to lie. I listen to that song so much. It's so good.
That's so cool. Because, you outside of, Canada, you only really hear of the people who actually made it outside in terms of popularity and stuff. So that's cool. Yeah. I'll check those guys out.
There's also like, I don't know if you know Patrick Watson. Oh, do you know the song To Build a Home?
That sounds familiar, yes.
It's like, and I built a home for you, for me. Well, with the cinematic
orchestra. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, that's he sings on that song.
Okay.
He's amazing. He writes amazing music. I've worked with him before. I've done like a demo for him. Met him when I think I was like 13 and I was in a show, and goes, I need to talk to you. I was like, okay. That was like terrifying for me, but it ended up being really good. So he's amazing too. He has great songs.
So you were talking about sync, like getting songs on TV and films. Is that something you've explored at all?
I'm starting to look into it, but I mean, nothing's happened yet, of course, but it would be pretty cool to hear that. Like, I mean, I would love to hear my song on the radio and in a movie. That would be the coolest thing ever. To hear my song in a movie, oh my God. And I'm a big movie watcher too, so it'd be really cool. Yeah.
So when you write your songs, do you have a visual in mind?
Usually, like if I'm upset about something, it's one of the only ways I know how to express myself really is in lyrics and just writing in general. So I kind of just, whenever I'm upset, I just sit down and I grab my guitar and I just start like spewing out words, and somehow it becomes a song.
You said you're still finding your sound. Is there something you want to explore sound-wise that you haven't yet?
I really like alternative music. I don't know if I will explore it. I really like pop, and I'm young right now, so it's like I'm kind of, crazy, I guess, sometimes. So, I guess if I were to explore anything, kind of a more alternative type of sound. That's like Billie Eilish is really good too. I love her music. I wouldn't say that exactly, but something like that. I also love rock, so I don't know, maybe someday I'll do something like that, but yeah.
The song I produced with Lucy Gahn, it's different than like anything she said she's written before, and it's different than anything I've produced before. But when I play for people, they say it sounds like Billie Eilish. I'm like, huh, okay, I guess that's what we're doing now.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing.
Yeah. We're with the trends, I guess. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, she makes really great music. So, you know.
and I think like Olivia Rodrigo does that kind of like bridging the pop rock divide pretty well as well.
Yeah. Like I wasn't expecting it. I thought she was going to have a more like pop alternative type of vibe to her music, but it ended up being like more like pop rock, like punk rock kind of. Like I haven't really, like, I've listened to the album like once and I was very surprised, but it was really good. It was, yeah.
And I really like, as a producer, I like that, producer, singer, songwriter relationship, the one she has with Dan. Is it Dan?
I think so, yeah.
Nero?
Dan,
something like that.
Something like that.
But like, it's like him and Phineas and kind of who's Taylor's guy? Blanking.
Jack Antonoff.
Yes. I like the way they kind of just make magic together.
It's cool. So cool. Like I would love to have that relationship with a producer. I think it would be like really cool. I mean, my producer is really great. Like he lives in Greece. His name is Kostas Lainas, and he's great. It's just, I've never met him, so it's like we've talked on the phone, and he's really great. But I would also love to have that relationship with a producer that's like throwing ideas back and forth, right? That's always really cool. I want people to take whatever they feel when they hear the song. That's what I want them to take from it. That's it. Like, I don't want them to think of my experience with what happened to me, let's say. If they can relate, then that's amazing. I'm glad I get to be there for this person. If they can't, then that's fine too. If you like the song, just listen to it, right? But I want them to take away whatever they feel from it.
Links to Elena's music and everything else can be found in the show notes. The video version of the show is available on YouTube. Indie Echo is a product of High Five Music, a digital production studio that brings your bedroom demos to life. If you want your music produced or remixed, visit the link on my Instagram at High Five Music. And you can follow the show at Indie Echo Podcast. Thank you for listening.
'Cause I'm still stuck on you.